Are you a villager? Oh no, you're a bitch. Fuck you. Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh! Oh, Jesus! Are you okay, buddy? He's not okay. That man's dead. Holy crap.
Holy shit, what the freaking frick? This is all you have to make. Bro, I know. Start the match. Man, send me this clip from back in the day, dude.
Look at this dude.
I mean, I look good though, man.
No.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the OPSEAT video podcast. I'm your host, Drew, or Droopy Drawers, the social media director for OPSEAT. We created this podcast to introduce you to successful gamers who have used various strategies to build personal brands and make profit with them. Please make sure to like and subscribe wherever you enjoy your live streams or your podcasts. Now, today, we're joined by the Twitch streamer, Man. Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
It's truly a pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the time out of the day to join us. Now, for those that may not know, what would most people recognize you for?
I would definitely say Grand Theft Auto and Fortnite. 100%.
100%. Those are two very popular games, and you've spent hundreds of hours playing those games.
Yeah, it's definitely been an amazing journey. I didn't think it was going to be the way it turned out to be. That's one thing I've definitely learned about streaming. It's unpredictable. Every day is a different day, and that's what makes it really enjoyable. Talking to people, meeting new people. It's crazy the people I've seen come in, and it's just absolutely amazing. I love it so much.
And you've been doing this for years, so I think it's been about 4 years you've been streaming?
Yep. Since 2015, that's when I started.
There you go. And then, how did this, online content creation journey begin?
Well, it started when I was 17. I always knew that I wanted to be something. And I was like, what do I want to be? But how do I want to do things? I knew I played video games a lot. And I was like, well, when I grow up, maybe there's some way I can do that. Back then in that age, it wasn't really known to be a content creator as a job or anything like that. And years later, all of a sudden, it started becoming people's jobs. And I was like, this could be something possibly. And I was like, I actually don't want to do it as a job. I just want to do it for fun. And I just started doing it for fun, not thinking anything would, happen of it, just, continue my daily life. And things just started taking off, opportunities, blessings came up, and I was so fortunate. I was very, very lucky in a lot of situations, and I'm just so happy about where I am today, honestly, and where I have been.
It's really amazing, from our end, even on OPSEAT, to see where you are now, especially, from where you started and everything like that. And, we're curious, at one point, when and how did you feel you were able to find an audience for what you stream on Twitch?
At first I was a little bit worried about all of that. And I was like, my first stream, nobody watched. My second stream, nobody was there. And it didn't really demotivate me because secretly I was terrified when someone finally came in my stream and said hi. I don't know why. I was so scared because I was very shy. I was very, locked away. I was not really known to talk a lot. And it terrified me seeing my first viewer. A lot of people may not say, a lot of people may be happy, but I was scared. And eventually after an hour, thankfully my first viewer was very talkative. We just talked for like an hour, and I was like, wow, I feel like I genuinely made a new friend. And I just kept streaming more and more because I was like kind of excited to see them again. And then all of a sudden, they brought their friend, and then more people came in, and eventually I was doing 20 hours a week just for fun. And it was amazing just meeting so many new people all of a sudden. It really helped with my social skills, I used to have a little bit of social anxiety. That is completely gone. My gosh, from in front of a crowd. Oh man, so different. It's so different. It's amazing what streaming will do to you as a person in a amazingly positive way.
That's awesome. That's, it's an amazing, side effect of, this journey of just having fun and doing it as a hobby. I mean, do you still get like butterflies and things like that when people are jumping into your channel for the first time?
Um, Personally, I took I what I think is the best advice I've ever taken from anybody regarding streaming, and that was block your viewer account. So whenever I have like a certain number of viewers, I'll never know, and I think that's best because let's say you have like 100 people watching, and
Yeah.
then for whatever reason it goes down to like 10. A lot of people can't say they would not feel differently or be demotivated in some way. You need to focus on the people that are there, not the people that you want to be there. Because you're not focused on the people that are there, why should they be there?
Yeah.
It's really takes a lot of appreciation and gratitude for what you have. So, do I ever get butterflies though? In regards to that, I would say I have when like a big YouTuber that I've actually watched has come in my chat. I know Prestige Clips. He stopped by one time. It's like, hey, I want to put you on my channel. I was like, whoa. And then the video got like 7.8 million views, and I was just
Oh,
like,
wow.
oh my goodness. Yeah, it was one of my clips made it to Prestige Clips first ever Fortnite video. And it has millions of people that have seen it. It's actually pretty crazy. I didn't even think that clip was gonna be the clip. It's you never know what's gonna happen on Twitch. You never know what's gonna be that moment that just takes off. That's what I love about Twitch. It's unpredictable. And I love things being unpredictable in such a positive light, which is why I've been doing Twitch for so long.
That's really really cool that one of your clips was like able to basically blow up and get placed in one of these YouTube videos and basically help launch somebody else's amazing career even on YouTube. Now, for clips and things like that, a lot of people don't realize how much of a big, massive tool that is on the Twitch platform. Would you say you encourage viewers to clip, or is it kind of just like a natural thing where you're just playing the game and you end your stream and you kind of see what they did afterwards?
Um, that's something I probably should start doing, but I would say clips are definitely crucial in terms of using it on other platforms to grow, but using it correctly. If you just, be like, oh, let me just post this clip, I think it's better to edit the clip to have it to where it's like a short burst of a moment.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's posted on social media, people aren't going to be like, oh, wow, I hit this really nice shot. Check it out, guys. And they'll be like, oh, that's a cool shot. You want to see this guy who hit the cool shot? No, instead, you got to like make it to where it's you and it's what people remember you for. So instead of saying, "Oh, you remember that guy who hit that shot?" No, I remember man underscore hit that shot. Like you have to edit it and put emphasis on yourself and crucialize the clip to fit your personality, so the people who are seeing these 10-second highlight clips immediately will know this is who you are. That's the correct way, in my opinion, to put clips on social media.
That works really well. And just trying to learn a little bit more about who you are, who the man is. How did you get the name, or how did you just come up with the name Man? Where does that come from?
So, that's an interesting story. I used to have the name DCUO underscore man. The game I started streaming was DC Universe Online, which is short for DCUO. So I was like, I'll just stream this game forever. And then eventually I learned that the game wouldn't last forever. And I personally just got to the point where I had played for about 5 years. I was a part of the community for about 5 years. I wanted to move on to Grand Theft Auto. And there is a lot that does happen with things like that. I ended up switching my name to man underscore, and that was because one of my moderators was like, "Hey, your current name, because the name I do want is not DC. I have to work on getting it. I'm in the process of working on getting it, but I gotta get partnered first. Long story short, um, but pretty much my moderator gave me a couple names, and he's like, "Hey, I think this is a pretty cool name," and I was like, "You know what? It's better than DCO underscore man." So I changed my name. It's man underscore, and I haven't looked back since, but I do plan on changing it again one more time. And but yeah, it's been definitely people did notice that my name changed at first. They were like, some one thing I will say: if you change your name, being a streamer without a webcam, people have a hard time finding you because if I'm scrolling through my follow list and I see that someone changed their name and I don't see that they're using a webcam, I won't know who they are or have
Yeah.
no way to tell. So if you do plan to change your name and you are a recurring streamer, I'd recommend making sure you have a webcam in place so that way your audience can rediscover you. And it didn't really affect things as much as people may think. I think it's because I used a webcam, but I thought my viewer count was gonna go down because of that, because I changed my name and I was like worried about it. No, it actually went up. Maybe it's because my name was easier to find. I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
because man is just very easy. You know, if like I mean, a lot of streamers and personalities and things like that, they go to conventions, and a lot of things that happen at convention is people start talking, and everything at that point is word of mouth. Because you can hand out so many business cards, but sometimes business cards get lost, things like that. But if you were just to say, hey, find me, look up man underscore,
Yeah.
that's pretty easy to remember. That's fantastic for it. Now, looking back, you've streamed a lot of different games, like GTA 5, DC Universe Online, even For Honor. Um, I know you said that DC Universe Online didn't last, but is there any regret on spending that much time in those directories, or is it kind of just lessons learned, or you just had fun and it was worth it?
I would say I had fun and it was worth it. Being a news streamer, it's all about really having fun. It doesn't really branch out into becoming a part time job or a part where you feel that you have to stream that one game until later on. And in my opinion, it does vary. So playing Defense Online, it was purely for fun. It was not for, growth or anything like that. My goal wasn't actually to grow. I just kept doing it for fun. And I really enjoyed it. But eventually, when I stopped having fun in the game, I was like, okay, I'm doing pretty well. I am one of the top, streamers on Defense Online. Usually, sometimes I'm trying to focus on what I'm trying to do, but it's just doesn't have the umph anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that I smiled less during those streams. And eventually, I started playing games off stream for a little bit, and I noticed that I really enjoyed Grand Theft Auto. I was smiling so much more. It was like it gave me back what I had originally lost from Defense Online. And I streamed Defense Online for about maybe 4 months, I believe. It could have been longer. Actually, yeah, it was 6 months. 6 months. Um,
You have a
I
good amount of
started.
time. You have 694 hours in DC Universe Online streamed, not even offline.
My goodness, that wow. I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
And
But
another stat, because I mean, I can tell you love Grand Theft Auto, because it even beats out Fortnite. You've streamed Grand Theft Auto 5 for 2,243 hours.
yes, I used to be. Fun fact: I at one point there was this website that showed how long someone streamed a game,
Mm-hmm.
and of thousands of other streamers, I was the ranked four in streaming Grand Theft Auto the most of all time. So I was very proud of that.
That's a
I
lot
would,
of smiles right there.
yeah,
It
it
must have
was
been.
honestly. I would say even after all this time has passed, Grand Theft Auto is still my favorite series I've ever done. I loved it. Loved the community. You think that it would be not the best community because the game's about robbing people and taking their money, and doing other violent crimes, but it was amazing to see how the community was. They were so kind. I would say, of all the streams I've ever done, if I could go back and do another series, it would 100% be Grand Theft Auto.
There you go. So, I mean, asking a question like, if you were to, uh, I mean, if you could find the perfect audience for any directory that you could choose, would it be Grand Theft Auto 5?
Honestly, yes, I would definitely say that they have an amazing community. I've been a part of other communities through streaming, and Grand Theft Auto is they're very consistent. They're there for you, and they have your back. If you stream a different game, they're there to support as well. Different communities definitely vary, different mindsets. It's absolutely amazing.
Without a doubt. And it's very important to build a community and like a lasting bond with the people that watch you. And with Grand Theft Auto, a lot of people being there for you. I mean, do you have any tips for switching between directories on Twitch where maybe the community isn't necessarily the same way? 'Cause-
Um, so what I did when I would switch is I would always give a warning beforehand to my audience. Usually it'd be about a month before, and I'd be like, "Hey guys, the game's just not the way I want it to be at the moment, or I found something that I enjoy more." And I would let them know repeatedly throughout the streams throughout a course of a month that the switch is most likely going to happen. And I'd also get their opinions to see what content they enjoy. Um, the reason I switched from Decentraland Line to GTA is because a lot of them that play Decentraland Line did know that they enjoyed GTA and they knew what GTA was. So the fact that a lot of my audience already knew what the game was and that they did enjoy it means that it would be a more healthier switch than playing a game where they're like, I've never seen this game before. Um, I will say I do remember this very well, but when I streamed Decentraland Line, I had about 30 viewers. When I switched to GTA, it went immediately to 7 concurrent. These were both concurrent numbers. And I could have been like demotivated, I could have given up, but I was like, you know what? It's not about that. And it never was about that. It's about having fun. And I focused and stayed true on that. I'm glad I did because GTA sent me on an absolutely amazing journey that really changed a lot. And it's crazy to say this, but streaming really teaches you a lot, like a lot of things. It teaches you how to be a better person. It teaches you certain situations and how to handle them better. I've used a lot of things that I've learned from streaming in real life to make my life a whole lot easier. It's absolutely amazing.
Without a doubt. And, it's really cool that you've been able to really just stick with this for such a long time and still, stay true to your passion about having fun. And with that, I mean, with being on the platform for 4 years, what's your opinion on the current state of streaming as a profession? I know when you were talking earlier and you were like, wow, people are doing this as a job. It kind of made you want to do it as like a creative outlet. But what's your opinion on it as a job now, 4 years later?
So I will say it's the one thing. I've been through various things, but I would say the discoverability on Twitch is definitely, in my opinion, an issue. They are working on it. They've been doing a good job, but when you compare it to platforms like YouTube, getting discovered is a lot easier for newer people. To blow up on Twitch, you have to think about how many streamers have you seen blow up on Twitch recently. You can like point
Mm-hmm.
out their names, but then go to YouTube. How many people have you seen on YouTube blow up on YouTube? Point out their names. You probably lose count of how many
Mm-hmm.
people on YouTube versus Twitch because it just really doesn't happen. Blowing up on Twitch just really is not a thing that happens, and it's really difficult to get discovered for newer streamers. It's like you go live, and if someone wants to find your stream, they have to scroll through a couple of hundred other streamers depending on what game you're streaming, which is why I recommend new streamers to stream smaller games unless they have something like a unique idea. Um, like for example, my YouTube channel, I
Yeah.
was thinking of multiple things. How is my content going to be different? What am I going to bring to YouTube that no one else has ever done or can't currently do? And I thought about that for a very long time, months and months, because if someone wanted, like, let's say I post a Fortnite video, just a regular Fortnite video,
Mm-hmm.
good old gameplay, there's thousands upon maybe tens of thousands of people that I'm competing with in that specific category. How am I going to differ myself? So I thought about it and I was like, well, there is something that people aren't doing right now, and that's Minecraft ray tracing VR. I've looked into it. There's only two people, one person concurrently doing it, and the other one has done it once. Only two people. So
That's
when you think about things like that, you're like, okay, that's something where if someone wanted to get that kind of content, it's only me or this other guy. I think that's a lot better because there was a YouTuber. Um, he used to do Call of Duty videos, and now he does deep sea diving videos where he finds like weapons under sea and other items. And when he did his Call of Duty, he grew a decent amount. But what really blew him up was finding this unique idea. Hey, no one's diving underwater for weapons, helping the police solve these, missing weapon cases. I should do that. So he's the only one that does it. So I mean, if anyone wants that kind of content, they have to go to him.
Yeah.
And I think that's really a smart way to grow on YouTube. It's hard because not many people can, so many ideas are taken nowadays. It's really difficult. You have to think of something that makes yourself separate from the others, which is why it took me months to bring up this idea. It took me months of research and thought just to even narrow things down to be like, okay, this is it. And there are other ways to grow, following trending topics and stuff. But I think if you're going to grow on Twitch, in my opinion, it's really smart to grow a YouTube channel first. That way they know who you are, because a YouTube channel helps build personality. A Twitch channel, if someone hits a sick clip, like I said, and someone posts it on social media, they'll just show the shot and everything. But does it put your name to it? Will they walk away from that 10-second quick clip from Twitch, that 10-second highlight clip, and be like, that was man, and that was insane, and I'm going to see his stream?
Definitely.
You really have to think about it, things like that.
Certainly. And I mean, it's really, it is brilliant to realize that it comes hand in hand, developing a unique niche to be able to develop, your own discoverability as a streamer and as a content creator. Because nowadays, I mean, a lot of the biggest streamers, they do a YouTube channel as well, even after they got big on Twitch. But if you can develop that YouTube channel before even that, it's amazing to develop, your community live on Twitch, and to also to be able to make your own discoverability with YouTube with that, the ratio, that 1-to-1 of the other person creating that content is very, very brilliant.
Absolutely. That's why I think that, and I've noticed, I have looked into that too. There are some big Twitch streamers, and they have YouTube channels. And there are some big Twitch streamers that actually don't. But what's crazy is some of them are so big that their highlights get put everywhere on YouTube. Like, for instance, Asmon Gold.
Yep.
I don't know if I said, hopefully I say his name right.
Yeah.
But, he is on so many compilations on YouTube. It really is like free self promotion. And even, Ninja and Tifu, if you look on all over on Fortnite videos, their names are just everywhere. They don't really need to make a YouTube video because it's like free promotion in a way. That's another very helpful thing for a lot of big content creators, because those people will go there and be like, hey, I wonder what's going on here. It was like the Symphony and Brooks situation. There were so many clips I saw on my feed of people saying, oh, they're together. And it was just millions upon millions of people that had saw that. And then they're probably wondering, hey, I kind of want to see, what his stream's about, or see more about this. I want to see this live, see if anything crazy happens between those two. And that free promotion helps big streamers so much. It really does. It's a saving grace for a lot of people. And I think that has helped a lot, because I have seen some, really big streamers that do have YouTube channels but haven't uploaded in a while. And I'm like, but why? And then I eventually learned why. They mainly have to focus on their Twitch a lot, because when you have a Twitch that's that big, it's really good to take care of it and spend as much time, if not all your time, working on that.
Without a doubt. And I mean, being a streamer who's been doing it for 4 years, and mainly just really focusing on just having fun and building, really quality community. What do you think is the most effective way to build a community from what you've seen?
I would definitely say, in my personal opinion, I have built my community a certain way, and I've seen someone else build it a different way. The way they built their community was they did not play with their viewers. They simply played the game and interacted with their viewers through chat. What they were able to do versus what I was able to do definitely showed the difference. They were able to stream any game they wanted, and the audience would be there because they had that personal connection.
Yeah.
What my channel focuses on was and is playing with viewers, getting them in the action. Is it the best way to grow? I do not believe so. And the reason why is, if there's one day where the viewers can't play with you, are they going to be there? Do they watch you because they want to just simply play with you and enjoy the benefits of being able to play with the streamer? And then once that's taken away, will they still be there? You need to build an audience that's there for you. not there to play with you exactly, because you can't play with as many people as you want every single game. Some
Mm-hmm.
games will be limited. Like let's say I want to play, the new Control game that came out. That's completely single player. Is that gonna do well because I can't play with my audience? So I think the best way to grow, and it is the slower way. It definitely is a slower way, in my opinion. But the best way to grow is to simply play and interact with your audience through chat. That way, you are building a more strong, solidifying interaction, and it helps in the long run for sure. If you play with your viewers, I've seen a lot of streamers that do strictly play with their viewers, like I do. And when they do try to switch games, it definitely shows that the viewers are they've known the streamer has like, hey, this is the person I'm gonna join the stream so I can play with them, and that's gonna be why. We all
Yeah.
have different reasons we watch certain channels. There are certain content creators where if they upload a certain video, I'll watch it 100%. And then they can upload whatever they want. It's gonna sound a little bit cliche, but if PewDiePie uploads a video, I'm watching it. It doesn't matter what it is, I will watch it. I freaking love his content, and a lot of other people do too. And there's another content creator that if they upload a certain video that's not an Overwatch video, I don't watch it. So when I think about things that way, it helps me understand how it all works. It's all about personality and getting to know them. Like, am I there for just Overwatch or am I there for that person? And I think that's why it's crucial that the content creator helps make that decision by building a very more emotional perspective towards the audience. Because if you're just, streaming one specific game the whole time, which that's honestly the best way to grow. A lot of streamers have grown by streaming one game.
Mm-hmm.
I highly recommend it. Lyric, he started on one game and kept going. Um, Tons of Fortnite streamers, they're started on one game and they're still on one game and they go with it. And then when they get that big audience, that's when they can move to other games. Like you probably have known Myth, he was playing Fortnite a ton. Now recently he's doing Minecraft. He's
Lots of
still doing
Minecraft, yeah.
Oh yeah, and he's still doing really well. That's why I'm saying it's good to stick to one game for a long time because that helps bring concurrentness because it builds up a lot of anticipation, a lot of audience, and they get comfortable being there. And then eventually, because this happens with in my opinion, every content creator, you will move on from that game eventually. Staying with one game for 20 years is very difficult, and not many people are going to do because eventually they may outgrow the game. That actually happened with Defense Online. I eventually got to the point where I hit a cap. I was at the top of the directory every time I went live, unless this one other person was live, and if they weren't, I was always at the top. And I realized that I had reached the cap of the game. It was a small
Mm-hmm.
cap, but it was a great start. And so I moved on, and it was a great decision. At first, it didn't seem like the right decision because anytime you move on from a comfort zone, and that's what I call it, it's when you stream a game for so long, you know what kind of to expect. You're like, all right, I'm gonna go live. That many people are probably gonna be there. It's just another day in this game. But when you switch games, you're in new territory. You react, you don't know how to properly stream it and entertain your audience. You have to learn the game while entertaining dozens, if not more or less, people. And that takes a lot of skill. That takes experience. That's what I'm saying. Switching games rapidly at the start might be a little tricky. I do recommend doing that, but once you get to a certain like point and threshold, you should focus on, in my opinion, just one game so you can get comfortable with it and learn to stream it and learn to become a better streamer. So you can use those tools the next time when you're playing a new game because that's helped a lot.
That definitely makes sense. I mean, we've had a lot of people on the podcast, even we're going to have Squiddish as well. I mean, he talks about variety streaming being one of the hardest things to do as a content creator. So being able to build that, audience where they can get comfortable with not only the creator and then each other, very, very, very smart way to be able to do that. Because a lot of the time streaming, you want to be able to use your time effectively. And throughout the years, you've switched through a decent amount of directories and you've been able to maintain your community, and it's been awesome. But over the years, maybe they're bound to things that don't necessarily go the way that you had hoped. What would you say might have been one of the most, memorable learning experiences you've had during this entire ordeal?
Ooh, that's oh man. It's crazy to say because recently I watched a video that people posted. Like, it's good to have this medium. My viewers are happy with the content, and I'm happy with the content. And he said a third one, which is where I also make a lot of money. But
Yeah.
I like the honesty there, but it's really difficult to find the happy medium sometimes and be also successful. There's some games where you're like I said, people will get too comfortable with streaming one
Mhm.
game. You stream Fortnite and you're like, all right, I know if I stream Fortnite, this is what's going to happen. And they get a little too comfortable, but they start not enjoying the game, but they're forcing themselves to stay because their audience is like this. And if they switch games and they enjoy it, it goes like this.
Mhm.
Their enjoyment goes up, the audience, though, goes down. It's just kind of how it is. But it's rare that you'll find something like this. So, one time I did learn is some things just aren't going to work out. I've been very good at streaming other games, and I've managed to hit really good milestones consistently on other games. But there was this one game I just could not make it work. I tried so hard. I did everything, and when I said everything, I'm about to explain. It was Overwatch.
Oh, really?
I Yes, I worked on streaming it, and every time I streamed it, when I was streaming GTA, 50 people would be there. When I was streaming Overwatch, 2 people would be there. It was a massive difference, and it confused me because I was thinking, oh, but when I stream other games, usually half my answer there no matter what. But
Mhm.
Overwatch, they weren't having it. So I was like, all right, maybe if I just get good at the game. So I practiced, put hours in, and eventually I got top 500.
Really?
And yes, it was really a journey. And I was like, all right, I'm ready to stream it. I'm gonna put that in the title. People are gonna be like, oh, this guy knows what he's doing. Still 2 viewers, and I was like, okay, maybe next season. So I got top 500 next season. Still tried to make it work. Just tried to make it work, and my audience was not having it. I just it's crazy. It still baffles me to this day why it didn't work. I thought that's when I learned a valuable lesson. You don't have to be good at video games to be successful because I was already a successful streamer in other departments, and I was terrible at GTA. I'm just gonna go ahead and say right now when it came to races, I think I had maybe almost 300 races won, but I've had over 3,000 losses. So I had a 90% loss ratio, but people loved seeing it. They loved seeing it. When I would go on Overwatch and I would have a 90% win ratio, people hated seeing it apparently. And it was a very eye opening moment for me. It showed me that you don't have to be a pro player to be good, you just have to be yourself. And that's when I was like, all right, I'm gonna stop streaming Overwatch. Like I kept playing it here. I had stopped streaming it because it was the one game I've ever streamed where I could not get it to work. And I was really surprised. Like it shocked me a lot, but it was definitely a valuable lesson.
But I mean, still, as an accomplishment, getting top 500 is absolutely incredible. Whether the viewership was retained or not, still, that's its own milestone right there. That you had your passion, you were as a gamer being able to, do so much better than a 90% loss rate in GTA racing. That's incredible. Now, I know through a lot of years of streaming and things like that, you might want to go to events and meet the community and things like that. Maybe they want to meet you as well. Are you planning on heading to any event soon where people can come and meet you? Like, let's say
um,
TwitchCon or PAX, any of those events?
well, first, I got my badge right here. I've been TwitchCon. You can see the former name in there was DCO underscore man when I went back in 2017. I also went in 2018. Right now, I asked my community, I was like, if do you guys want me to go? And they're like, yeah, because some of us will be going and we would like to see you. So I was like, all right, well, what we could do is we could start a fundraiser. Well, I don't know if it's called a fundraiser. I don't even know what to call it, but we just started a donation goal, and it was for like 600. But right now we raised 256 out of the 600 within like 2 streams. So it's like,
That's pretty good right there.
yeah, it really is. And so in terms of that, TwitchCon is mainly the only place I go to at the moment. I don't go to PAX or Comic Con, these other places. TwitchCon is pretty much the only place I go to at the moment in terms of where people can meet me. And it's more of I don't travel as much because I like to take all of the donations I've earned and just save them, for just in case anything ever happens or anything gets stressful. It definitely helps to save money and be responsible with it,
Mm-hmm.
because going to these conventions are a bit costly.
Yes. Yes, it is. It can definitely be costly. Um, and, it's great that you've been able to either, save these donations or actually, put them back into the stream. Like, I mean, for the future YouTube content, I know getting into the ray tracing Minecraft and VR is just not an easy thing to set up. It's not a standard thing that people can get into. Um, you know, over the years and, in the future, there are going to be certain peripherals that um, you're going to love or like need to use, but we're kind of curious over here at OPSEAT. What's your favorite peripheral that you think really helped you do what you do on Twitch?
Webcam.
Your webcam?
Um, Definitely the webcam, but also having a good mic. Because I mean, if they're gonna hear you talk for hours, you might as well have just a really good mic, which is something I do want to actually upgrade. Because I did upgrade my PC recently.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a lot of things, and I don't even want to go over the cost thing, but it definitely. What's really motivating is when you walk into the room, because this is my gaming room.
Yeah.
But when I started out streaming, I was back then. I didn't have a car. I didn't really have much to my name, actually. I just lived in a room with my brother in my dad's house. That's where I started. And it was difficult. When I think about how it was at the start, it was the hardest thing. It was so much fun. I was new to it, but it was definitely the most difficult thing. There were times I couldn't stream. Now I can stream whenever I want because I have earned that freedom through hard work. And it's so motivating when I wake up and realize that I went from staying in a tight room with me and my brother, just bunched in there, had to share a TV, had to share a console. Now we have our own console, I our own TVs. I have a gaming PC, and I have my own house, which is just boggles my mind about where I was, where I am now. So when I come into this room and know that all of this was through hard work and fun, it's so inspiring. Just seeing this alone is inspiring to me. It's a great way to start your day when you walk in, you look at something, you're like, I earned this. And it wasn't through someone going to a job where someone tells me what to do and, having a boss on you and all that stuff. No, it was single handedly me, a passion, and a lot of hard work. Because whether I earned money from streaming or not, I would have still done it. That was just another extra thing that came along with it that I did expect. Because I've talked to some people who have done it. They've streamed strictly because they want to make money from it, but they quit because you, that's just not how it works.
Mm-hmm.
I did not make a single dollar the first year of streaming. A lot of people aren't aware of that. No one would back then. People donating was a rare thing. It usually happened with big streamers, but with small streamers, it was just kind of rare because it was through PayPal. What really changed and what really helped a lot with streaming was when they came with bits and Twitch Prime subs. A lot of people may dislike Ninja or may like him, but I would say he is a huge reason about why people learn what Twitch Prime is, how to use it, and utilize it. He's a huge reason because the moment that he started blowing up was when I started getting, why are so many people subbing all of a sudden? So I looked into it and I went clicked on Ninja Stream. All I heard was, hey, Twitch Prime, you get free sub. And then it just spread and people started knowing what Twitch Prime is. Now I remember I used to rarely, Twitch Prime was first out. I used to rarely see Twitch Prime people in the chat because they have like the crown next to their name. Now it's kind of common actually. It's amazing how much it's changed, and I would definitely say I have Ninja to thank for that because before he blew up and had like 200,000 subs in 1 month, people did not have Twitch Prime. Now so many people have it. It's absolutely amazing. It's helped out streamers a lot. It helped me out so much, and I definitely want to thank the other streamers that have educated the viewers about it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. A lot of people listening to this podcast, either watching it on YouTube or, here on Twitch, or maybe listening in their car on Spotify or anything. Where can people learn more about what you do or kind of watch your content?
Definitely at twitch.tv/man underscore. And right now I'm working on becoming a YouTuber. And I'll talk about that in a second. But
Mhm.
on YouTube, they can watch me if they search up Not DC. That's NOTDC. Right now, I am working with more on my YouTube channel and other social medias because I feel like it's really, really important to just grow out your social medias.
Mhm.
Like if you have a Twitch channel, the issue with Twitch is if you're not streaming, you're not really growing. That's one thing I did notice that always happened on Twitch. I don't stream, I do not grow. On YouTube, it's different. If you don't post, you can still grow. I know some people that have not posted and their channels are still growing to this day. It's amazing to see. I know someone. I think the biggest example I saw was a guy who gained like 1 million subs, even though he didn't post in 2 years.
Oh,
A
wow.
million. Yeah, it was absolutely amazing to see. And I was like, I tried to take the most extreme examples and get inspiration from them because that'll just set your expectations way above your head to where it's just like, how are you supposed to meet those expectations? Like, that's not how things work. You always start with low expectation. So that way you can be inspired a lot easier and more. So right now, I really am working on growing my YouTube channel because I looked at all my other social medias. I was like, all right, I got 37K on Twitch, but how are my other platforms doing?
Mhm.
And none of my other platforms were above 1K. So I was like, it's not really something that I thought I should do. But for longevity, like let's say I don't stream or something happens, I get in the hospital, I can't stream for 6 months. What's going to happen then? Where are they going to go or how are they going to find me? Is my discoverability okay at the moment? Do I feel like it's at a place where something can happen for 6 months and I can come back to and have the same audience I do? Not quite. And I noticed on YouTube, there are a lot of people that would take, a 6 month break, come back, repost, and be okay.
Mhm.
It doesn't work that. It does not work that way on Twitch. People will possibly forget who you are very quickly on Twitch. If you don't stream for even a week, I've gone a week without streaming and taken a very noticeable drop in my own viewership. So I was thinking Twitch does have issues with discoverability and consistency. It makes it hard for content creators like us who may have a time where we aren't consistent. Let's say a life crisis comes up. We're going for 2 weeks. What's going to happen? You know, it's it's a very difficult thing unless you're a big streamer and there's YouTube videos being like, "What happened to this streamer? Why did he disappear?" And there's like
Yeah.
a build up hype. Like for instance, when Lol Tyler was gone for quite some time, there was a huge like anticipation. It was like a movie,
He had
and
to
you were just waiting for
reform.
it to release.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
it
had to
was
reform.
exactly. So it's like, if I leave, am I big enough for that kind of just amazing anticipation? I would say no. And a lot of content creators are not. Very few Twitch streamers can leave for a month, come back, and have the same audience. Very, very few. It's why I'm focusing more on YouTube because on YouTube, it's longevity. If I'm gone, they still have content they can watch. Or let's say I'm gone or I'm not feeling well
Mhm.
and because streaming, you have to talk consistently. It's just how it is. And I love doing it. But if you're not feeling well, it's really difficult. It's really difficult to stream. I've streamed on days I'm sick and it's way more difficult. Editing a YouTube video, let's say you have some clips and you're like, oh, I don't know what. Just editing a YouTube video, be nice and quiet. You can relax. You can handle your cold or your flu a lot easier. It opens up more comfortable opportunities while keeping good content and good consistency
Mhm.
because your content does get affected, and you start streaming. So because of the longevity, that's why I'm focusing on my YouTube because I want people to really have a place they can go to when I'm not live or a place that they can rely on if something happens in my life. Like, let's say I'm like, all right, I'm going to make 5 YouTube videos. And if something happens, these YouTube videos will go up, which means, like, let's say I know I'm going to be going for a month. Something crazy happens, just a
Yeah.
rainy day. I can have 5 videos ready to go, and it'll be as if I never went anywhere. people would not notice. I learned that from PewDiePie because
Yeah,
he done that.
it's brilliant. I mean, there's your discoverability, even when you're offline. That's a really, really amazing way to answer that question. How am I growing when I'm not streaming? Utilizing those social platforms and YouTube and just having content ready to go, is something I hope a lot of people take from the podcast. And we at OPSEAT and myself really look forward to the content that you create for this longevity. And I'm curious to see where it goes. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I am definitely going to say it's a lot of anticipations, and I've talked to a lot of people about it. It's something where when you run different projects, it has a content creator, you should be never afraid to fail on certain projects. That's one thing I've learned because if you are afraid to fail and you do fail, it will hit you mentally like a rock. So with the content that I'm doing and the branching out that I'm doing, are there other paths I can take? Absolutely. I could go back to Fortnite and could go back to hosting customs and be the same size I was roughly a couple months ago. But that's a secondary alternative if this doesn't work. So I do have other paths I can take. And it's really, I'm hoping that this path does work. I've had a lot of experience creating content. I've done hours and hours of research. I watch Alpha Gaming on YouTube. He gives amazing, solid advice about content creation. He's been a full-time content creator for 5 years for a reason, and he is successful on so many platforms. He's not just a big YouTuber, but on his Twitter. No, it's every single platform this man is
Yeah.
on.
Harris
He's
Heller
really
even
good at it.
started on Vine. That's where he
Yeah,
was doing guitar videos and like a few memes here and there, and he grew it into live streaming and YouTube.
absolutely. Like there was a one content creator. Um, I can't say his name because he's not, on. He's banned from Twitch, so I can't say his. Actually, wait, no, he came. It's an interesting story, but I'm not going to say their name. But it's a very interesting story about him, and it shows genuinely how to tell if someone's just a really good content creator.
Mm-hmm.
So he used to be a Twitch streamer, and he became infamous for trolling and all that stuff, and
Is it
eventually he
Ice
got banned.
Poseidon? Or
No, no,
is
no, no,
it
no. It's
you can say the
Netto
name.
Tiger. It's
Okay.
Netto Tiger. Um, but he got banned on Twitch a long while ago. So he had thousands of people that would watch his stream. When he got banned on Twitch, he didn't have another platform, so people couldn't figure out where to find him. He didn't have a Twitter at the time that was very big. It maybe had like 700 followers. He didn't have a YouTube, so he created YouTube and started streaming, and he went from thousands of. And while watching him, have like 5 on his YouTube channel. So time went by. He never gave up, and he kept streaming on YouTube. Eventually, he had a very crazy break. I don't know if you watched Drama Alert, but there was a person who claimed that they saw a murder while playing Pokemon Go.
Oh wow.
If you've heard about that, that was him. And when that story broke, he was already a big YouTuber once again. So his YouTube channel actually blew up. He made a new YouTube channel on top of the old one that he had originally made, and it just took off. He became a Pokemon Go streamer, and he went back to having 1,000 viewers from scratch. He didn't transition platforms. No, he simply had a big platform. It got taken away from him, and because he didn't have other social medias, he forgot about who he was. So he went to another platform, made a completely new name, by the way. So only people who knew who he was by name were people from his original channel,
Oh wow.
and it was absolutely amazing to see. So that happened, and then all of a sudden, Pokemon Go died out, and then his stream went down again, and then he went back down to from thousands of viewers to once again about 20.
Yeah.
So you think at that point, man, this guy's been at the top twice, and has had it just drop from him. He did not give up. He still didn't. So he started playing
Mhm.
Fortnite, became one of the best solo players, and then he went back up to thousands of viewers. He hasn't. So it's
That's
like
that's perseverance right there.
it really is.
that's dedication of the content and everything like that. And you know, through everything, we hope to see the same thing from you. Where you're able to persevere through everything and like really just build it up and get that audience, that you think you can have. And you know, honestly, it's been absolutely amazing having you on the OPC podcast. And even myself, as another content creator, I've learned, Like you've asked some really good questions that I think are going to resonate with me, like being able to, really, really focus on the fact that when I'm not streaming, I'm not discoverable. So like things like that are really good questions to be able to ask yourself, whether you're, just a YouTuber, mixer, streamer, even if you're just streaming on Periscope, all this stuff, it kind of goes together. And, it's been an honor to have you on the OPSEAT podcast.
All right, thank you so much. One last thing I want to say
Yeah.
to all my fans and all the fans out there, thank you so much for supporting us. Y'all are the reason that we do what we do. Without y'all, none of this would have ever been possible. This amazing journey for so many content creators would have not been possible. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart to everyone that watches content creator, supports content creator, or even is a content creator. Thank you for creating this amazing place, because it's 20 years ago. I don't think this was a thing, and now it's for some people it's everything. And thank you for allowing us to let it be our everything. So thank you so much for the opportunities, everybody. I appreciate it. Love you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you.